This is St. Louis Cardinals baseball, and let's play two. A hot day in downtown St. Louis at Busch Stadium. Game one of the doubleheader. It's the Pittsburgh Pirates and the St. Louis Cardinals. Welcome to the broadcast booth here at Busch Stadium. I'm Dan McLaughlin. That's Brad Thompson. Jim Hayes is with us as well. An exciting game number one. Boy, that was fun last night. And Dylan Carlson, he loves facing the Pirates, and he came through late.
Yeah, he did. Dylan Carlson, before heading out on the IL, he was having a hot month of May where he's picked up where he left off. Career against the Pirates, well, all he's done is hit 327, 12 extra base hit, driven in a bunch of runs, and 3 huge ones there to tie the game with that 3-run blast, and then added the double off the wall just for good measure.
Well, the Pirates shouldn't feel bad about this. Goldie's hitting everyone this year, but boy, is he hitting the Pirates.
Well, a little bit different clip here at 500 against the Buccos on the season. You're right. Look, this is your MVP in the National League. If the season were to end right now, he just keeps adding on. You want to talk about adding on the big blast to put the Cardinals ahead yesterday. Goldie's been one of the best in baseball.
Matthew Liberatore has faced the Pirates already in his young career, and he'll get the start today in game one of the doubleheader. Buccos, Cardinals on Bally Sports. Game one is coming up moments away. Brendan Donovan at the top of the St. Louis lineup. Brad, you've been talking about this a lot. Get him in the leadoff spot, the Kia player profile.
He sees tons of pitches. He hits for average. He draws walks. Look at that, 20 walks and 15 strikeouts in his last 30 games. You just don't see a player like Donovan. I know his approach isn't to try to get to 2 strikes, but he gets there, he battles, he fouls stuff off, and ultimately gets his knocks. He's been such a versatile piece.
So he'll be at the top of the lineup for game number one and in right field. Hey, let's play two. This should be a lot of fun. Chris Rock loved it last night. Baseball coming up. Sports Midwest brought to you by Budweiser. This Bud's for you. By Chevrolet, the #1 selling brand in the St. Louis area. Find yours at your Mid-America Chevy dealer. And by CarShield. CarShield cars go farther. A lot of fans braving the heat here in St. Louis, and it is a hot one here in the Midwest and in different parts of the country, but certainly here in St. Louis, it is 94 degrees, which to me is a bit surprising. I thought it'd be hotter, but it does feel like 104. And it's game one of a doubleheader with Jim Hayes, Brad Thompson. I'm Dan McLaughlin. And great to have you with us for a full day of baseball here on your home of the Cardinals, Bally Sports Midwest.
Well, first pitch yesterday, Dan, was 96 degrees, so this is cool. Look at the NL Central standings, and your St. Louis Cardinals, a game clear of the Milwaukee Brewers. They took 2 of 3 from the Reds, took care of business last night. And, Dan, they did so in a very fun fashion. They were down 5-0. Never really the start that you want, but they battled back. Scored 7 in the ball game. You love to see that team claw back into that game.
Great game, entertaining game, fun game, dramatic moments with the home run hit by Dylan Carlson. Then later in the game, Paul Goldschmidt, he had a big night. So the Cardinals in first place in the Central. As you mentioned, a game ahead of Milwaukee. The Cardinals rank 5th in Major League Baseball in run differential. They're plus 47, and as you go further along in the season, that number really does dictate in many ways the kind of season that you're having.
Yeah, it really does. I mean, it's not the be-all, end-all, but to your point, the more time you get a chance to see this team, the more you realize what they can be. They're a great defensive ball club. The pitching has been strong, and I think we're seeing the offense come alive.
Albert Pujols today appearing in game number 1,340 at first base. That ties Jim Bottomley for most in Cardinals history. He's also playing in game number 1,739 as a Redbird, and that passes Curt Flood, 7th all-time in franchise history. And the guy was gone for a decade. It's amazing.
Well, he was something special for 11 seasons, and this is a guy that wants to stick around St. Louis for quite some time. Matthew Liberatore making his 4th start of the year. Been a little bit of a mixed bag for Matthew Liberatore. Made his debut against these Pirates in Pittsburgh. Went fine. Had a few troubles here and there, but a great learning curve. His second outing was solid. And little up and down. The Hyundai pitch arsenal here for Matthew Liberatore. A lot of fastball, curveball. Those are the main ones. He'll sink it. He'll also run that four-seamer up there and has the changeup as well.
Well, Derek Shelton and the Pirates now 24-35. Undoubtedly a rough go. They're 9.5 games out. They have lost 7 in a row. Marcano at the top, then Reynolds and Hayes. Chavis, who homered, along with Castillo, Sawinski, Chang, Mitchell, and making his big league debut behind the plate, Jason Delay. Ali Marmol and the Cardinals here at home playing pretty good baseball. St. Louis 19-12 here at Busch Stadium. Tucupita Marcano, left-handed batter. And the first pitch is taken for a strike. Generally, do you find when you've got a doubleheader and it is hot that umpires will widen the zone?
I sure hope so. No,
I'm
though.
with you.
The answer is no, probably. Yeah, I want that.
He's got to get that. That's a good pitch.
No, it is one that you still got to call it straight up. You still have to go about it the same way. But they are humans. They probably don't want to be back there in 94 that feels like 104 all day.
So it's a count of 2 balls and 1 strike on Marcano, who's hitting .313, off to a good start. Couple of home runs and has driven in 5. The 2-1 pitch taken high, and it's 3-1. Could be a historic afternoon for Yadier Molina, as he is 5 putouts away from tying Pudge Rodriguez. 14,864. 5 away from that. That would be most all-time among catchers in the history of Major League Baseball. They're talking pop-ups, strikeouts, little tappers hit out in front of the plate. He's all a part of that. The 3-2, and that's hit out of play.
That is a whole lot of reps, whole lot of games, a lot of beating back there. So many foul tips. We talk about the fact that this game, first of all, I don't care what position it is, it's hard to play for. There's only a special handful that play this game for like 10 years. And then to be able to do what Yadi's doing behind the plate.
Lined into center, and the catch is made by Bader. And the Cardinals defense around the horn, presented by Dobbs Tire and Auto Centers. There's a look at Yadi. He's behind the plate. O'Neill, Bader, Donovan in the outfield. Arenado back in there at third, served as the designated hitter last night. Sosa started short. Nolan Gorman at second, and the aforementioned Albert Pujols at first base. Here's Brian Reynolds, switch hitter, designated hitter, coming off a series against the Atlanta Braves with 10 hits. And the first pitch to him, fouled back, and that's strike 1.
Yeah, yesterday holding him to 1 hit almost felt like a great success with the series that he was coming off of. An all-star last year. Brian Reynolds is dangerous. We talked about it. A lot of teams going to be calling for the services of Brian Reynolds around the trade deadline, but a piece that the Pirates have talked about they want to keep. They want to be able to build around him.
He's 11 for his last 19, and he pulls it fouled, 0-2. Brad Thompson's Toyota, key to the game.
It's as simple as commanding counts for Matthew Liberatore, and so far so good. I mean, the count ran full for Tucupita Marcano, but you get ahead, you're going to have success. That's one of the struggles that he's had early on, is falling behind in counts. That's where you have to be in the middle of the zone. We've seen a little bit of that. We saw that in the Cubs series. Hit a few breaking balls that just popped out of his hand. Just couldn't get that grip on that. That's going to be tough on a day like this. Very humid, a lot of sweat. You're going to see Matthew Liberatore. You're going to see JT Brubaker on the other side go to that rosin bag a lot. But for Matthew, just being ahead in counts is going to be the biggest key in this game.
And the 1-2 pitch to Reynolds. Lined on a hanging breaking ball into center. Man could hit. He's a good player, and like you said, a lot of teams I'm sure will be calling about the services of Reynolds, or do the Pirates say, look, we've got to keep some of these pieces if we're going to rebuild properly. They have inked Key Brian Hayes to a long-term extension. Would Brian Reynolds be one of those guys?
Yeah, I would say that nothing is off limits. I mean, if somebody calls and offers you the world for Reynolds, I think you have to listen. But I would be inclined to keep as many winning ball players as I can around my young club.
Here's Key Brian Hayes. Liberatore was asked what he learned in his first 3 big league outings. He said, quote, "I think it's the same thing I learned in Memphis in the first half of last season. If I'm behind in counts, throw stuff over the middle of the plate, I get hit." And that's what happens in the big leagues.
Oh, it does. Well, and the throw stuff down the middle, that was the Reynolds hit right there. It was a curved ball. It was center cut. It's a pitch that oftentimes in the minor leagues maybe gets fouled off, or maybe they take it because it's that big bender. Not here.
And a count of 1-1. Liberatore working from the stretch. What have you thought of his move? We always talk about lefties and their pickoff moves.
Yeah, he's not the fastest guy to the plate, but I think he does a good job. He'll do the step-off move that he saw right there. He can hang a little bit. I think the move is just fine to keep the runners honest over there.
And the 1-1 pitch popped up right side, and that'll find the seats and out of play. Those folks down the right field line are baking. The folks down the left field line, they're baking too. It's hot.
You know what, though? I got a feeling that everybody that's at this ballpark today, there's nowhere else they'd rather be. This is the place today.
You sure about that?
I think so.
Okay.
What are you here or work? You know, where do you think they want to be?
Now if you're comparing it to work,
chances are, I bet a lot of these people here might be sick today, as far as their job's concerned.
Here's a 1-2 pitch and a strikeout of Key Brian Hayes. Now, if you gave some the option to be home in the AC and have the chance to listen to you break down a game, are you kidding me?
They're probably going to go to the ballpark.
Yeah, I think so too. Can I get some seats?
Yeah.
Yeah. Here's Michael Chavis. My partner is excellent, Brad Thompson. Chavis hitting .274, 6 home runs, and he's driven in 22. Swing and a miss. He's got a little extra jump on that fastball today.
He does. And look, I think that he should use his fastball even more. We know about the big bender that he has. The curveball is good, but the fastball is good, and especially if he's able to get it in there on those right-handers.
Chavis went 1 for 3 with a double and a strikeout in that Major League debut for Matthew Liberatore. But to your point earlier, Brad, the start against Milwaukee here at home, he was in command, and then at Wrigley, it just didn't look right. Something was amiss.
Yeah, and for me, it was the confidence with the fastball, or at least perceived confidence. Because I know that he believes in everything that he's doing. But when he was out there against the Brewers, you could tell as soon as he crossed the white lines that he was in charge. He was commanding counts. He was ahead. He was going right after the opposition. 5 innings against the Brewers. Ended up punching out 6 in 93 pitches there. You know it's there for him.
And in that start against Pittsburgh, it was May 21st, his big league debut. 4 2/3, 4 earned, couple of walks in that game, 88 pitches, allowed 7 hits. And the 0-2 pitch on its way. Popped up on the infield. Coming in, Nolan Gorman. Childhood buddy puts it away. He and Liberatore, the best of friends ever since they were little ones. At the top of the lineup, the red-hot rookie, Brendan Donovan. Another rookie. And then the vet, Goldie. No score. Cardinals lineup with Brendan Donovan at the top, and he's the right fielder today. Nolan Gorman at second, Paul Goldschmidt the DH, then Arenado, O'Neill, Pujols, Bader, Molina, and Sosa. He is winless this season, 0-6. ERA is below 5, 4.60. And it is the right-hander, J.T. Brubaker, last start against Atlanta, went a career-high 7 innings, 99 pitches, a 3-1 loss, but pitched well in the 7 innings as he gave up 3 earned.
The Hyundai pitch arsenal for Brubaker is going to be a lot of sinker slider. I mean, that's the combo for him. Has the curve, has the changeup, but this is what you're going to see. He's going to sink it away. He's going to slide it in.
The record is not indicative of just how well he has pitched this year. A lot of times he does not get run support. So you look at a record, you say, well, winless, what's going on there? But he's allowed 3 earned or less in 8 of his 12 starts this year. And it's 0-2 on Donovan. Well, my partner has been saying when you have the skill set of Brendan Donovan and Tommy Edman is going to sit here at least for the time being in game number 1, why not put him at the top of the lineup? And here he is.
Well, it's an interchangeable part. You put this guy anywhere, and very rarely do you see that. The strikeout of Brubaker kind of shows you how good that slider is of his. But we've seen with Brendan Donovan his ability to just work counts, foul stuff off, make pitchers really frustrated out there on the mound, ultimately make a mistake, and he makes them pay for it oftentimes.
So the strikeout of Brendan Donovan. Now Nolan Gorman, 273, 3 home runs, has driven in 10. Brubaker against St. Louis, 6 games, 5 of those have been starts. He's 0-5, ERA near 7. He's allowed 7 home runs in those 6 games. And the 1-0 pitch on the inside corner, and it's 1-1.
Remember, it was JT Brubaker that got the start on opening day. It was 3 earned runs, or 3 innings, 4 earned runs against the Cardinals.
Missed outside with the breaking ball. 0-4 on the road, 4.28 ERA in 33 innings. Yeah, that was a rough start at opening day. The 2-1 pitch. Swing and a miss, and it's now 2-2.
Well, we saw JT Brubaker then on opening day. Things got a lot better for him in May. He had 5 starts that had a 2.63 ERA, and he got back to just this. It was sinker, it was slider. He got away from the big curveball a lot. It just went back to his bread and butter, and it's been effective here, tying up a couple of lefties at the top of this order here in Donovan and Gorman, getting them to swing over.
Well, the DH is Paul Goldschmidt. And a nice round of applause for Goldie. 420-foot home run last night. His 13th to break a 5-5 game open. 7th go-ahead home run of the season. 37th time he's done that. A go-ahead home run with the Cardinals. 134 in his career. Now he leads the National League in batting average, on-base percentage, hits, 2nd in runs batted in, 8th in home runs. Sounds like an MVP.
Yes, it does. And this guy is the model of consistency. You talk about a down first month. His down first month, he still hit 280 something.
Really, it was a down couple of weeks.
Yeah, it was.
And then he started to gradually bring it back up, and now at 335. League average is right around 240 across the board. And here he is at 335 and playing every day.
Well, the league average at 240, that's kind of disgusting. I realize that batting average is not the be-all, end-all. There's a lot more that goes into it, but would love to see that bump up a little bit.
Entertainment value of it as Goldie whacks it into right field, and that'll drop for a hit. Brubaker tried to almost quick pitch him with that. Goldie was ready, base hit, the sinking liner into right field.
Ho-hum, just another base hit here for Paul Goldschmidt. The sinker got in on him a little bit. Didn't end up getting the barrel to it. And honestly, if he might have, he could have been out on this one. This one just dies right there in front of Cal Mitchell.
Here's Nolan Arenado hitting 298 in June after the 196 in May. He's driven in 41. That's 7th best in the National League. And the 11 homers. And a breaking pitch in there for a strike. He spun away from it.
Nolan scorched a couple of baseballs yesterday. Didn't have anything to show for it. He had a couple of at-bats in a row where he lined out to center field.
Off the plate, 1 ball and 1 strike. Hitting above 300 here at home at Busch Stadium. He's closing in on 1,000 runs batted in. 906 for his career. 9 Gold Gloves. He's won the Gold Glove every single year that he has been in the league. And the guy at third for the Pirates is pretty darn good. 11 defensive runs saved. Arenado has 8, and you'd have to think that Hayes will be a challenge for that Gold Glove.
A little competition is always a good thing.
That slider must be really good here early on.
It's tight and late. The thing with Brubaker, and again, when you think about this as a hitter, when you've got a guy that is predominantly sinker slider, well, one is going for a right-hander, one's coming into you, the other one's going away from you. That's a lot to cover, and when it breaks late, it's tough to pick up.
And the 2-2 slowly hit left side. There's Hayes, and he'll make the play. Cardinals strand a runner, and we have played one in game one of a doubleheader. No score. St. Louis, and where do we find Jim Hayes?
Go ahead, Jim.
Hey, Jack Flaherty has looked really good in his 2 rehab starts. Says it's the best he's felt since 2019. So the decision has been made to start Jack tomorrow against the Pirates. Ollie Marmol says the decision was made after ongoing discussions. Flaherty told me having the same guys that have been around me day after day throughout this process seems like a better fit from a consistency standpoint. Jack says he's ready to go, but for how long? Danny Jack said, all I can do is execute pitch after pitch until Ollie comes out and says, you're done. But Jack is back.
It's great news as we get to the ballpark today, and that announcement early. And so the question will be, I guess, 90 pitches. Can he get there? That was the idea if he would make another rehab assignment. This is Diego Castillo hitting 204, 3 balls, 1 strike.
That's super news, and we were talking about it after we saw the video of his second rehab appearance. He looked so good. The fastball was free and easy coming out of his hand. The slider was diving in. We were just talking about JT Brubaker's slider and how he was tying up lefties. Well, that's exactly what Jack's looked like last time out in Memphis. So good news, man. Good news. And you don't worry about Jack Flaherty. Maybe if it was a younger guy, you would worry about him doing too much and trying to throw too hard and impress people, coming back early. Jack's not going to do that. This is great news.
Leadoff walk, and now Jack Sawinski. 215. The average with the 8 home runs, leads the rookies in homers with the 8, and he's driven in 16. When you're rebuilding, you do trade away chips. Adam Frazier, one of those chips a year ago, went to San Diego, and Sawinski, a Chicago native, coming back to the Pirates, and they had 2 of those guys in their lineup last night.
Yeah, we were talking about different ways last night that you build a ball club. On the 40-man roster of the Pirates, they have 20 players on their 40-man roster that were acquired via the trade. I mean, that is a lot.
And the 1-1 pitch taken high. Just saw a shot there of Derek Shelton, played at SIU Carbondale, a Saluki. You know what a Saluki is, Brad?
Oh, yeah, I do.
Because I probably told you before.
No, I know a lot of things.
You just know a lot of things.
Yeah. It's one of those little fast dogs, isn't it?
It's an Egyptian dog.
Yeah, they're really quick. Kind of like a whippet.
Is that right?
Probably. I would liken it to a whippet.
I couldn't believe that they wouldn't let you in the ballpark today when you had that little dog like the Kardashians have, you know?
Yeah.
And you had it in your bag when you came through the turnstiles, and they said, no. This is not Ralston Purina Day.
Yeah, security's tight around here. I just figured it was kind of cool as my companion. But I had to take it home.
Yeah. That's why you were a little late getting ready for the game today.
Rules are rules, Dan. But either way, I know a lot about a bunch of different things. And a Saluki is a lot like a whippet, which is kind of like a greyhound, but smaller.
Uh-huh. Interesting.
Yeah.
Quick visit for Liberatore. Great info from Brad today. And the 3-1 pitch. Ground ball right side, base hit. And Castillo will stop at second base. And the first 2 have reached now for the Pirates here in the top half of the second. Just whips that right into right field.
Sure did. just up in the zone a little bit, but who cares? You got your ground ball. It was a wide open right side. Let's just go back to the key to the game, though. All right, you got two guys on command counts. Get ahead, you can work from there. You fall behind, you're going to get in counts where they're going to be really aggressive in the zone.
Here's Yu Chang. Good play by Yachty to keep that in front. Chang with one of the best plays we have seen from a second baseman this year as he robbed Andrew Kisner of a base hit last night. He threw from the seat of his pants behind second base and got 71 miles an hour on this throw. This is just an incredible play.
First of all, you look where he is. He's on the other side of the base, but Chang, he was all over. This one ended up being off Keller. He makes the play, ultimately made a nice play. That's a good play right there. That's exactly what the doctor ordered for Matthew Liberatore, a little 6-4-3.
That's the 57th double play turned by the Cardinals, third most in baseball. And so 57 double plays. The old 6-4-3. And it brings in Cal Mitchell. Castillo advancing to third, and now there's two away. Cardinals turned 4 behind Dakota Hudson in the ball game on Sunday in 4 innings. Mitchell hitting 200 with a couple of home runs and is driven in 6. Arenado even with the bag at third, off the line, and the 1-0 pitch. 1 ball and 1 strike.
It's a good tight slider right there by Matthew Liberatore. We're used to seeing the big breaking ball, but to those lefties, that sweeping slider is a really effective pitch.
And that's strike 2. Like you said, let that fastball eat a little bit.
Just compete with it right now. I mean, you got to get some confidence knowing that you got that ground ball. You got 2 outs. I get it. You got a guy sitting over there at third. Let it rip.
Two and 2. We have Jason Delay in his major league debut on deck. Count of 2 balls and 2 strikes. And the next is swung on and missed, and strikeout number 2. Coming up, O'Neill, Albert Pujols, and Bader. Yu Chang. And the play that he made last night, sensational. He's on the infield, around the horn, presented by Dobbs Tire and Auto Centers. Chang was picked up by the Pirates. Acquired from Cleveland back on the 30th of May. Here's Tyler O'Neill. Home half of the second, and there is no score.
Well, Tyler has been really good since coming back off the IL. 357, 867 OPS. Had a couple of hits yesterday, and what was impressive about the 2 hits, he had one where he went the other way, breaking ball away, another one where he ends up hitting a line drive to left, stole a base. The skill set was on display yesterday.
It's an out of play. Since he came off the injured list, he leads the Cardinals in hits. He has 10 of those. RBI 6. Back on the 7th of June. He was 2 for 4 with a stolen base last night. He's got a stolen base in consecutive games. 6 for his last 15 with a double. And the 1-2 pitch. And third strikeout. And it brings in Albert Pujols. The MLB Ballpark app will complete your next visit to Busch Stadium. Buy and manage game tickets, unlock offers, access exclusive content, much more. It's the MLB Ballpark app today. all time against the Pirates. Albert, 353 the average. And who could forget the run by Lefty O'Doul?
Well, if you're on a graphic with Lefty O'Doul, boy, are you doing something right.
And a fastball and a strike.
I understand they still don't even let Lefty O'Doul's, I mean, anybody from his family, generations, they don't even let him into Pittsburgh.
Is that right?
That's true.
Banned from PNC?
Yeah, no, not even the ballpark, the city. Lefty O'Doul was a pirate killer.
No kidding.
Yeah.
2 strikes on Albert. I wonder if they go over that on the ground rules with Ollie and Derek Shelton. They talk about Lefty.
There's no O'Douls here, right? All right, cool.
And then they go over, okay, if it goes down the right field line, you do this, you do that. Oh, I could see it, Brad. And again, that's why you are a wealth of knowledge.
Yeah, I really dug in on that one.
The 1-2 is pulled foul. Albert was at the event the other night at Top Golf for Adam Wainwright's big league impact. Smiling, having fun, taking photos, signing autographs. He's loving it. The 1-2, rounded foul again.
I think that Albert has found, and this is something that we talked about with Adam Wainwright, as Adam Wainwright joined us in the booth for a game, which was so much fun to have him up there. But that sweet spot of still being the competitor that you've always been, yet also enjoying the moment. And I think that Albert is right there. He's having so much fun, but you know, right here, all he's thinking about is competing against Brubaker. And this is a tough matchup for him.
It's tough because of that slider. It's a right-hander, throws hard. The 1-2 lined out to left, and a base hit for Albert Pujols.
I think I would have stuck with that slider right there against Albert Pujols. Throws him the fastball. This one's 95 miles an hour, but it is up. It's elevated. Your Chevy pitch tracks. You get a good look at it. It's the sinker trying to go away. Trouble with the sinker is it can come right back over the middle of the plate. That's what happened right here, and 5 serves it into left.
He's getting into stand the man territory in a couple of categories. He's now, with the game today, 21 away in games to tie stand the man. 3,026. Here's Bader, and the breaking ball in for a strike. He's also very close in terms of extra base hits to getting to stand the man. He's 2 away. And the 0-1 upcoming to Bader. Came off the bench last night, used as a pinch hitter, then stayed in the game. Short lead at first by Pujols. Cardinals have 2 hits, and Harrison looks at a fastball and a strike, 0-2.
So Brubaker started him off with the big curveball, fastball away look, and probably the one you want to put a swing on. Chances are you're going to see that slider.
Got it there, 1-2.
I'd go back to it if I were Brubaker. Started on the plate. This is where Harrison, you see if he shortens up. The right side is wide open. So if he stays on that slider, he can shoot a ground ball right through it.
Another slider, 2-2. We mentioned that Albert appearing in game number 1,340 at first base. And that ties Jim Bottomley, known as Sunny Jim. Always had a great happy smile disposition. Branch Ricky's scouts saw him get 3 triples in a semi-pro game. They signed him. They developed him. He came through the system. As Bader pops it up. It is amazing, Brad, the history of this organization. And there's another one. Jim Bottomley led the league in runs batted in twice. And he was country strong from Illinois. He was a blacksmith apprentice, and I love seeing the background of these players from way back when that Albert is tying. He passed away in 1959 and went into the Hall of Fame in 1974, but he went 6 for 6 in a game at Ebbets Field. He drove in 12, and that was a record that stood for a long time. Here's Yadier Molina, because the RBI was not an official record until 1920. So they went back in the 1800s, late 1800s. There was a player that had 11. So they figured that that was the record of 12. until a night of Mark Whitten in Cincinnati. Hard hitting Mark Whitten. Base hit for Yadi. But it is really cool to see all these big names on that list for both Yadi and Albert Pujols.
It is. It is. It seems like every time either one of them does it, we're referencing somebody, some historic player, some historic moment. We're getting a chance to see these guys build these Hall of Fame resumes. You know that both of their futures lie in Cooperstown.
Edmundo Sosa. Sosa at shortstop today. Couple of hits now in this inning, and let's see if Sosa can't come through. He's in the 9th position in the St. Louis lineup. Righty's hitting .262 coming into play against Brubaker. The first pitch, a slider, and in there for a strike. And Sosa, good numbers, albeit limited, but 2 for 3 with a double. Run batted in against this right-hander. And a grounder. Gloved by Key Brian Hayes, and a force play at second base. Cardinals strand a pair. They have left 3 on, and we are scoreless. For the best coverage in the game, let's check out the T-Mobile coverage cam. And a hot day here in St. Louis in Busch Stadium. Jason DeLay will be the leadoff batter. They're prepared. They brought the umbrella. No rain in the forecast. Plenty of sunshine, though.
Yeah, nobody's sitting behind him. I mean,
no.
It's a good spot right there. That was smart.
DeLay, the first catcher to debut with the Pirates since Jacob Stallings back in 2016. And Stallings now in Miami. Originally selected by Pittsburgh in the 4th round. 118 overall. Out of the powerhouse Vanderbilt. Boy, they put some studs out in Major League Baseball.
Yes, they do.
He's hitting .250 at Indianapolis this year. I wonder, I'm not sure if he has any children, but would you name them Rain?
No. No, I wouldn't. But I like it. Would you?
Probably not. No, I don't think I would.
I dig it, though.
But it is something to think about, clearly.
That's a pretty name.
Very much so. Popped up to the right side. Pujols is over, and that drops foul. It's something to think about. I think you lay it on the table.
So, well, you know, I mean, you've had children. You've had to go.
I've got
through
4,
the
Brad.
I know. You have to go through the naming process.
Yes.
Of all of these. You throw a bunch of stuff out there, and you see what sticks.
So one of my kids, his first name is Barrett, and that is a family name. So you never know if there's a Rain in the other side, and say, well, you know, we promised that we were going to go with Rain.
Well, Grandma Rain.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, that makes sense. Never know.
Again, just something to throw at you and chew on. 2-2 fouled back.
Well, Matthew Liberatore last inning. So it started off with a walk of Diego Castillo. Jack Sawinski followed up with a single, but he got the double play. He got his strikeout of Cal Mitchell. I want to see him settle in now.
Maybe Flight.
We're still doing the delay names.
I'm just thinking out loud here. 3-2 pitch. Line foul, then out of play.
Throw him a fastball away. Make him earn it.
And the 3-2, and he walked him. Second walk issued by Matthew Liberatore. So leadoff walk, and we remind you that today we're participating in the home run challenge. Every home run in this ball game raises money for prostate cancer research. So far, $191,000 has been raised in the challenge, and you can make a pledge by going online to homerunchallenge.org. Here's Marcano lined out to center, first time up. And that's a souvenir here at the ballpark.
As we mentioned a second ago, Matthew Liberatore was able to work around the leadoff walk last inning of Diego Castillo. Top of the lineup up now with Tucupita Mercado. We'll see if he's fortunate enough. Those things are killers. Those leadoff walks tend to come around on you.
And the 0-1 pitch gets away from Yachty, and that'll go to the backstop. Cardinals turned a double play back in the second that allowed Liberatore to get out of trouble. He walked the first man he saw, then gave up a base hit to right. Cardinals turned their 57th double play on the ground this year, and then he got the strikeout, so he's got his work cut out for him here. Second time through a lineup, the opposition is hitting .304. Got a bear down here in this third inning. Runner at second, shift on the right side in the 1-1. Really took something off that breaking ball, and it's 1-2.
Marcano almost fell over on this one. It's a 73-mile-an-hour curveball, and the big key on that is he got his fingers on top of it. We've seen a couple of those pitches where the fingers get around the side and the ball pops out of his hand. Really got on top of that down in the zone. That's where he's going to have his success with that pitch. He can ride his fastball up at the top of the zone. We talked about that with Zach Thompson. Fastball plays at the top of the zone, but your curveball and the changeup better be down.
And a line drive out to left field. Catch made. While we have a moment, quick word from Victory Men's Health.
You gave me my youth back. Improved strength, muscle mass, and energy.
Thanks to Victory Men's Health, there are more guys feeling better than ever. Join the movement. Visit victorymenshealth.com.
Runner at second base. And Brian Reynolds, the switch hitter. First pitch is hit out of play. Single to center on a 1-2 pitch, and the 0-1 by Matthew Liberatore. Couldn't hold up. Just got a piece, and it's 0-2.
All right, these are the situations here. Brian Reynolds, you know how hot he's been recently. Mentioned he was an all-star a year ago as a young pitcher. You think, okay, well, I got him. I better be great right here. I'm going to throw my best breaking ball, or I'm going to make this nasty. Pick a good location. If you're throwing the breaking ball, bounce it. If you're trying to throw your fastball, make sure you don't miss over the middle of the plate. Miss in off.
The 0-2. Ooh, just missed on the inside corner.
It's a great spot. It's a great spot right there. You're trying to go in there. If you get him to swing, great. If not, it's in for effect.
Well, Yachty still, after all these years, so quiet behind the plate.
Makes a difference.
He'll get that strike many times on the inside corner like that. The 1-2 pitch is swung on and missed, and a strikeout, number 3 for Matthew Liberatore. And this time will be Key Brian Hayes.
Yeah, this time, Dan, from Matthew Liberatore, it's the slider. So he throws the fastball in, and then the harder slider gets him in swing mode. You don't see him take swings like that very often. Reynolds on that pitch. But a nice job here after that leadoff walk.
And 2 outs, runner at second base. Now high pop up on the infield. It'll be Sosa, and he's got it. Pirates have stranded 3. We're midway through 3, and the top of the lineup is coming up. It is back, and for $15 you can see the Cubs and the Cardinals June 24th through the 26th at Cardinals.com. Get those tickets, $15 seats, 24th through the 26th, and the Cubs will be in St. Louis. Here's Donovan, struck out his first time up. Brubaker's actually tougher on the lefties than he is the righties.
We can see it with that slider, too, the way that it looks like it's going to be that fastball in the inner half because he'll throw that, and that's a good example of the front door sinker.
Base hit into right, Brendan Donovan. And the Cardinals have their 4th hit today.
So the first pitch, sinker, it was in off. This is another one where he's trying to get that ball down and away, and he gets it, but not totally away. Enough in there for Brendan Donovan to drop that head on it.
On the first pitch, Gorman into shallow center. And the catch made. Sawinski. And it brings in Goldie, single to right, the first Cardinal hit. And a breaking ball drops in for a strike.
I'm sure that pitching staffs around baseball, as they're getting prepared to face the Cardinals, I mean, you're having big group meetings. How do we get this guy out? What do you do?
How would you pitch him?
Like, put up 4 fingers oftentimes. So like, if there is a spot to pitch around him, you pitch around him. I think that the out potentially is in. I think you can get in on Goldie a little bit. But the problem is you can't double up there. Because if you do,
he adjusts.
Yes. And that's the hard part. He's so locked in. And you run the risk of, if you try to go in, if you miss over the plate, he's going to make you hurt. I think it's what Stratton tried to do yesterday. He tried to get in on him, and it ended up being a home run 420 feet into the seats.
2-1, lifted in the air out to center. It's well hit. Sawinski back. It is gone! Dead center. Another Goldie bomb. And it's 2-0 St. Louis. So you try to slip that one by him, huh?
Yeah, maybe it would have been safer to just give the 4 fingers in a situation. Obviously not going to do it there. But this guy is just so tough to sneak anything by, and that's it. That's that sinker in, okay? And if you miss and you catch any of the plate, that's what he can do to you. He can drop the head, puts that thing right off the berm in center field. But the hard part is we saw him yesterday. You see a slider down and away. Well, what does he do? He shoots it the other way. This guy doesn't give you too many options as a pitcher. You better be perfect.
Prior to that at bat, he had 41 hits with men on. He's leading the league in hits, and he's hitting now about 420 with runners on as Arenado hits it left side. And the stretch hit first by Chavis, and that's out number 2. 50th career home run for Goldie here at Busch Stadium. 418 feet and a 2-0 St. Louis lead. Here's Tyler O'Neill, struck out back in the 2nd inning.
I'm just glad the Cardinals pitching staff don't have to game plan for that guy.
Woo. I'm with you. I mean, they meet before every game and certainly before every series and go over the hitters, and to be a fly in the wall when they say, okay, Goldie, what do you guys think? A lot of pitchers put their head in. I
don't know, up and in, down the way.
I mean, he is hitting everything right now.
Yeah, and Goldie, you know, he's very special in the fact that he doesn't expand. He'll happily take his walks. He's one of those power hitters that really is not going to go out there and reach for your pitch. You see some guys that are jumpy. They want to hit their home runs. They'll reach out and they'll try to do it. He doesn't.
Two and two the count. 2 outs and nobody on. Brubaker now at 50 pitches. Number 51. Here it is. Taken high. What do you think? Slider or fastball here with Tyler O'Neill?
I'd go slider.
Yep, that's what I'm thinking too.
Slider down and away. And to Tyler O'Neill's credit, I think he's done a good job of keeping that front shoulder in and staying on some of these pitches, especially since coming back off the IL.
Got the fastball, but it's taken high. And Brubaker has issued his first walk. Where Goldie is standing right there is probably the coolest place in the ballpark, because it's leading out of the dugout. There's some steps that go down to like a bat rack and some helmets and whatnot, but the AC is there and it just blows up the stairs, and you'll see guys all day long standing right there to cool off.
Yeah, throughout the day you might see some meetings there. Throughout the day also you might see less guys on the bench going in, getting cooled off. It's smart. There's a lot of planning that goes into a day like this. We were talking about it yesterday with the hydration and the training staff staying on top of these guys, and this crew does such a good job.
Off the bat of Pujols and into right, going back Mitchell under it to make the catch. Cardinals get a 2-run homer to center. Paul Goldschmidt, number 14, and he's now driven in 50. 2-0. Valley Sports Midwest brought to you by Ford, the official car and truck of the Cardinals. And brought to you by Real Steel. Find yours at steeldealers.com. Well, Liberatore through 3 innings. Every inning has been 18 pitches in the inning. And that is pitch number 55. And it's a strike taken by Chavis. Castillo to follow, and then Sawinski. Chavis popped out to second baseman Nolan Gorman first time up, and that swung on and missed. 0-2. Moments ago, a home run hit by Goldie. He's homered in consecutive games. As we play on June 14th, Paul Goldschmidt has 50 runs batted in. Middle of June. Talked about it the other day too, Brad. He loves facing the Pirates. He's got 12 home runs against Pittsburgh since becoming a Cardinal. Only Moustakas of the Reds, Mike Moustakas, has more in that span. Wow. Swing and a miss, and strikeout number 4.
Another good breaking ball right there by Matthew Liberatore. I could see him in the innings. He was throwing his warm-up pitches beforehand. He was really working on staying back and getting on top of it. Yachty was encouraging him. We've seen a couple of really good ones so far in this inning. Going back to the 50 RBI right now at this spot for Goldie. Dan, you know Paul Goldschmidt pretty well. You've built a relationship with him over the last couple of years.
Out to center, well hit. Bader back and makes the catch off the bat of Castillo.
Harrison makes that look easy, by the way. If you went up to Goldie right now and say, Goldie, man, you got 50 RBI already. What do you think Goldie would say to you?
I think he wouldn't know it.
Yeah, he'd be like, oh.
Well, his reaction would be, yeah, okay, and he'd have a little smile.
Yeah.
But he would.
Is that good?
I would imagine he wouldn't even realize he's got 50 driven in.
No, he just. Everybody kind of knows where their stats are. You know when you're succeeding, you know when you're struggling. But that guy, I truly believe him when he says he doesn't care about stats, he doesn't care about streaks, he doesn't care about any of that stuff. That's not normal. Like, guys generally are, oh yeah, no, I've got 50. That's going to put me on pace for about 120. You know, whatever it ends up being. That's just not him.
Well, and this game is all about numbers, right? And that's how you're paid. So that's something to think about as well. Is Liberatore struck out 4. Yachty is 1 put out away from tying Pudge Rodriguez for the most putouts history of baseball. And the 0-2. So he's been a part of 4 today. And he's had 14,863 putouts.
It is something special that we have seen over the years behind the plate with Yachty.
And the 1-2 pitch. It out of play. It is incredible. Longevity. To answer the bell every single day.
And to even fight over the years to be in all these games. Nice slider off the plate right there. I like that selection. I think you can elevate with the fastball now, get Sawinski swinging up there. But that is something that, I mean, you would have to lobby with Yachty to take a day off forever, for his entire career. Like,
yes.
Dude, like, we're playing like 3-day games in a row. We got a doubleheader. Maybe just take one of them.
The 2-2. And he struck him out, and there it is. Put out number 14,864 for Yadier Molina. The strikeout by Matthew Liberatore, and that ties him with Pud Rodriguez. Don't miss your chance to get discounted Cardinals tickets, 8 or more gallons of gas at a participating station using the My Phillips 66 app, and get up to 50% off Cardinals tickets. Phillips66gas.com/Cardinals. And here is Harrison Bader. 7, 8, 9. Cardinals lead it 2-0, and a 2-run homer hit by Goldie. And the first pitch is hit down into the left field corner, but foul off the sidewall. Pulled it just a little bit too much.
Well, you know Harrison wants that one. Just have to wait a little bit longer on that. Last 5 games hasn't had a hit yet. He's 0 for his last 13, and this was coming on the heels of a little bit of a hitting streak that Harrison had going. He looked like he was, starting off June really hot. Want to get right back to being that guy.
It was this date 48 years ago, and this is how the game has changed. But Nolan Ryan, Boston at California, now the LA Angels, went 13 innings, 3 earned, struck out 19. He faced 58 batters. 58. Angels won 4-3, and a grounder foul.
You're saying the whole team did that?
That
like
would be
entire...
Nolan Ryan.
I'm sorry.
Yeah, that's him.
By himself.
By himself.
13 innings.
That's correct.
How many pitches?
Didn't have the pitches. I can look that up. 58 batters.
I think that I saw this number earlier, and it was around 235.
Come on.
For a pitcher. Starting pitcher. 235.
It's amazing. Took a no decision in that game. Nolan Ryan, 7 no-hitters. I don't know if he's talked about enough in the greatness of the pitchers of baseball. He pitched 25 years. 7 no-hitters, 324 wins. The only guy that's gotten over 5,000 strikeouts. He had, off the top of my head, I believe it was 5,714 to be number 1. And then it's Randy Johnson. But Nolan Ryan, I talked to him one time, and it was a great conversation. He was really gracious with his time, but he grew up idolizing Sandy Koufax, who also threw hard and also was wild initially in his career. Sandy being left-handed, Nolan right-handed though. But he said he watched him pitch against the Colt 45s. He was a youngster, got a chance to see him pitch, and he said, that's the guy I emulate, and he becomes one of the all-time greats. Here's Yadi, who has a base hit.
The most surprising stat to me with Nolan Ryan, when you look at the Hall of Fame career that he had, 27 years in the big leagues. Never won a Cy Young. Like that one with all the no-hitters that you mentioned.
How does that happen?
I don't know. And, look, maybe it has something to do with some of the walks. But he had some monster years. He led the league in ERA multiple times. Obviously led the league in strikeouts a lot. Most strikeouts ever. But the thing with Nolan Ryan, when you have that hard thrower, also led the league in walks a lot. What leads the history of baseball.
That's right. Well over 2,000. Nice play, made it short, but they threw it away. Yadi hustling to second as delay. The catcher was backing that up, and Diego Castillo had way more time to make that play.
These are the things when you're struggling, when you're in a bit of a skid, as the Pirates are right now. They've dropped a season high 7 straight, that things like this happen, and this is just way too nonchalant on a play where you have a lot of time. You can set your feet. You can make a good hard throw. Yadi's not busting out of the box on this one. And look, you don't want Yadi busting out of the box on most of these. You want him to be good to go for the rest of the day. Castillo's got to know that.
And a grounder backhanded by Castillo. Throws that high, safe at first. Busting it out of the box was Sosa.
Hit it there again. Oh,
back-to-back errors.
It's in his dome now. He said, all right, I'm going to throw this one super hard. Now the key is right now you've gotten a couple of gifts here from Diego Castillo. Make it pay for it.
Clearly safe.
Yeah, good hustle right there by Sosa.
2 errors in the last 2 at-bats by Castillo, and that matches his total for the entire year. Came in with just 2 errors. Now he's got 4 and 2 in back-to-back situations, and Brubaker should be out of this inning, and instead it extends the inning to Brendan Donovan with runners at first and second. Donovan is 1 for 2. He struck out first time up, and then a base hit to right. And this is why Brubaker is winless. Situations like this.
Yeah, well, he hasn't got much run support, and the defense has not been very good behind him, and actually makes his month of May, where he had an ERA of 2.63, even more impressive in 5 starts.
The situation on the first one by Castillo, you got to know who's running. I mean, you got to know you're going to have time with the ball hit deep in the hole to get Yachty, and he didn't.
Well, maybe that's what he was thinking with just the nonchalant throw and spiked it.
Maybe. Yep.
It's you still got to make the got to make it there. And those are the things. And look, this isn't a shot at Chavis at all, because Goldie is just different. Those are the ones that Goldie ends up erasing a lot of times for his guys. Like, maybe you make a mistake like that, and it doesn't happen very often for a Cardinal infielder, but Goldie picks him and he cleans it up for you.
I was talking to John Mozeliak about Goldie the other day, and he said exactly that point. He said what gets overlooked too much is how Paul Goldschmidt has cleaned up everything on our defense. He's the guy. And he mentions that a lot with Bader in the outfield. The difference that those two make. Check swing, and he went. Strikeout of Donovan. And the 4th today for Brubaker.
This time it's the slower curveball that gets Donovan. He punched him out in his first at bat with the hard slider in, and just barely can't hold up. We got a couple of gifts in this inning by Castillo with the errors. I think this guy can make you pay for him.
He was swinging at the first pitch, his last at bat, fly to center. He's also struck out.
And I don't mind him being aggressive early. If you see a fastball early in the count, if you're Nolan Gorman, jump on it.
We had the very good series when he broke into the big leagues at PNC. Swinging on the first pitch and strike 1. There's that slider, tough on a lefty.
Yes, it is. And again, the swing just tells you a lot about the pitch, and it tells you it looks just like the fastball coming out of the hand of JT Brubaker. Look, the Cardinals have seen a lot of good pitchers this year. I mean, they faced everybody's ace. I put that slider of Brubaker's today up there with most of the guys we've seen.
It's been very good.
Yeah.
It's a wipeout slider, and he struck out 4 today. On deck, it's Paul Goldschmidt, who is homered today. 2-run shot to center. And the difference thus far in the ball game. And that is off the plate. And the 2-1 pitch out of play coming up next half inning. It'll be television that you do not want to miss. The Cat will sit down with John Mozeliak. I know I'm looking forward to it.
I am too. Jim did a great job with Chris Rock yesterday.
Oh, yeah.
That was a lot of fun.
Again, red carpet. It's his calling.
Throw him in.
The 2-2. Foul ball. See, I don't think Jim would be the one that's saying, who are you wearing tonight? Looks great. I don't see that.
No, it's not fluff. He's
No.
going to get in there and get some information.
Yeah, down and dirty. Get to the point. And the 2-2 pitch. Gorman rips it down into the corner. It is foul. Who are you wearing today, by the way?
I'm wearing Bally Sports.
Oh, the Bally issued gray
That's
golf
correct.
shirt.
Yeah, Bally Sports.
Very
today.
comfortable on a hot day.
Provided to me by Bally Sports. Now, I did get the word that I am going to have to give this back after the doubleheader this evening, but
Is that right?
boy, does it look good right now.
And your jewelry?
Brought to you by Apple Watch.
Nice.
Keeps my steps in line. Haven't had one in the last hour.
Been right here, locked in.
Pretty stagnant job we've got.
And the 2-2 pitch to Gorman. Inside. Well, you got Goldie on deck. He does not want to walk Nolan Gorman. It's going to be a pitch to drive right here.
He's going to get something. Well, his best pitch is that slider in off the plate.
Uh-oh, and Yachty could be picked off. He's got to hurry and get back. And he thought time was called. He started towards third, and he thought he balked. And here comes Ollie. He's saying, now hold on here. This is a big, big call with a 3-2 coming up to Gorman, and I thought it was a balk too.
Absolutely. Look,
he was
Yachty,
in the windup.
Yachty is not going to jump out there and do that if, in fact, he didn't see something.
Brad, he was in the windup, so he went to the windup on a 3-2. So changes there. He's not going from the stretch, and that's a balk.
Absolutely, it's a balk. Yeah, he started his delivery and then got out of it.
They're saying, now hold on, Yachty, we're going to talk about this. I mean, Yachty is one not to miss the little things like that. We see it all the time, Brad, don't we? I mean, he picks up on those things.
Yeah, he's not the guy. Yachty is as smart as they come. He's not going to get hung out to dry there on something. He was taking that extra lead because he saw that windup, and then as Brubaker started his delivery, he caught himself that he was going through the windup.
We had this the other day with Ollie, and the pitcher that was on the mound for the Cardinals went to the windup with a runner at first, and they called a balk. That's the right call. Now you can go to the windup if you want with a runner at first or second.
It's on you.
It's on you. And Derek Shelton, his team really struggling right now. They've lost 7 in a row, and he may just lose it right here. And sometimes you do that to fire up your team.
Yeah, you know that if Derek Shelton, and you know he already has, he's gone back and watched this, but it's the principle of it. It's the fact that it was called the way that it was beforehand, and then they reverse it. You expect him to do this, and if you're the Pirates, you want him to go out there and give this staff an earful, the umpiring crew.
So in essence, you have a balk, and then, as I mentioned, that's like having time called, because then it's a dead ball, and that's why Yachty was just jogging towards third, and then all of a sudden they let it go.
Well, Derek Shelton is telling the entire staff, every single one of you missed that. And then Yadier Molina is going to talk you into it. I mean, that's the talking point there.
And Brubaker is saying, now, wait a minute, I stepped off. But once you start going towards the plate, you cannot step off like that.
He started his delivery, and there was the one quick step back with the left foot, then stepped off with the right. Once you move with that left foot, your delivery has begun.
And again, it's a big pitch in the game. You've got Goldie on deck and 3-2 on Nolan Gorman. You'd have to figure he's getting a pitch to drive right here. And the next. Takes a pitch very close. Brubaker saying, is that up? Umpire said yes. Clint Vondrak. And now the base is loaded for Goldie. 2-run homer, 418 feet to center, back in the third to make it 2-0, and trying to add to it here.
You want to talk about a wave of emotions in this game for the Pirates and for Brubaker.
And that's ball one. Inning started with a ground out by Bader. Then Molina reached on an error. Sosa reached on an error, both coming from Castillo, throwing errors from the shortstop. Donovan struck out. And the next to Goldie. Tapped foul. He owns 7 career grand slams and a .281 hitter in his career with the bases loaded. Good take. You were talking about it earlier, Brad. The fact is, he's taking that pitch, that borderline pitch. He was pulling off of that beginning of the season. Now he's not.
Just not even offering at it, and he's just recognizing it so well, and just tells you how good his eye is. Seen some of the swings off of Brubaker today.
And it's 2-2.
That's a really nice pitch. That's a sinker that starts off the plate and runs back. I mean, and that's where you have to be with Goldie. This ball cannot be in the strike zone very long against him.
The 2-2. Chopped up the middle. Castillo gloves, and that's by design. That is something the Cardinals work on. The run will score. Sosa in a rundown, back to his bag. Smart play by St. Louis, and again it is by design. Because if the run scores from third before the out at second, the run counts. The Cardinals have worked on that play, and they pull it off. What a smart play by the Cardinals in base running here in St. Louis. What the heck is going on here? And he said, no, we worked on this in spring training, so you're safe there, no longer a force, and the run scores. It's a brilliant play.
How many times have we talked about details matter so much? That right there, and by the way, that's your rookie, Nolan Gorman, that remembers that from spring training, busted on that play to beat the force. Nice play by Gorman and stealing a run right there by the Cardinals.
Boy, I love that. That is good stuff. So it goes 6-4-2, 5-4-2 on the putout. Hey, let's check in with Jim Hayes. Jimmy.
Well, Danny, big news tomorrow that Jack Flaherty will make his return from a shoulder issue. He will start for the Cardinals against the Pirates. I'm with John Mozeliak. And John, Flaherty has looked good in 2 rehab starts, and there was some thought that maybe he'd get a third, but instead he will pitch with you guys up here. Can you go through the thought process with us?
Yeah, a couple of thoughts on this. One is he did ramp up quite a bit before he did go out on his first original rehab. But then more importantly, you know, we can keep having him build up volume, but the part that's really going to be the test is intensity. And so what we want to see happen, and what he really felt like, was he can't replicate intensity down in the minor leagues. He could keep doing the volume, but he felt like he was really wasting pitches down there. So we discussed it yesterday and decided that we'd give him the opportunity to pitch tomorrow.
A base hit by Chang. Jack also said that in terms of consistency, he's been rehabbing with a lot of the staff here, and he felt more comfortable. And he said for consistency's sake, for him, it seemed like that's a better idea, being here with those people.
Yeah, he mentioned that as well, and he does feel the continuity of care here makes more sense for him. And so, you know, look, as we all know, we're looking for quality innings, quality starts by our starters, and you know, getting Jack back is it's a unique opportunity for us, and we're excited about it.
Jack said that he'll go up until Ollie comes out and says you're done. What are your expectations on what he can do?
Well, I think we all agree that we have to be smart about this. We don't want any setbacks. We don't want to have to revisit the IL with him. So I think, you know, ultimately it's going to come down to more of that eye test. But we will have a number in the back of our minds before we enter tomorrow's game.
While we got you here, how about some updates on some of the other guys making their way back? Stephen Matt, what's his status?
He recently got an injection again. We're hopeful that that will address his situation, and if so, we're hopeful that he can begin his throwing program and be back in due time. But we also want to be smart there too, where we don't want to have this thing linger. So we're going to do everything we can to get him to where he feels right.
The Cards get one out there. How about Jordan Hicks?
Hicksy threw the other day, and we're encouraged at where he's at, and we're going to keep pushing him. He should ultimately get cleared for a couple more bullpens, and then hopefully by the end of next week he might be ready to go out on a rehab.
Mo, thanks for the time.
Thanks, Jim.
Danny, so some guys making progress, and Jack is back.
All right, looking forward to it. Thank you, Jimmy. I want to go back to the base running play again, because that is next level base running that the Cardinals just pulled off, and something you don't see every day in a game. So this is Jason DeLay. He's made his major league debut here today, but there was a play again. I'm going to reference this in Chicago where very similar, and the runner, and I believe it may have been Gorman that day at Wrigley, but ran through the bag at second base, and we were traveling. I don't know where we were going, but we're on the plane that night. And I said to Ollie, I go, was he running not to slide, or was something wrong with his leg? I mean, what's the idea behind that? He said, oh, no. Completely by design, and let me walk you through it. And then he walked me through about 5 other issues of various things that we may see this year. Mind blowing.
Yeah.
I mean, it's something you don't think about, and you never see that type of play. So you are safe at second, allowing the runner at third to come in and score.
I guarantee you that there are other managers in baseball and other organizations that are going to see that highlight today and say, we better start working on that. Like, we better get that in our bag of tricks, because how many of these games do you see tight, one-run ball games? Can you steal one here or there? We talk about details in defense and positioning oftentimes. That's next level.
Edge of the track, and the catch made by Tyler O'Neill off the bat of DeLay. And with 2 outs, the top of the lineup for the Pirates. I mean, there are things that you could do that you've never seen in a game. For instance, let's say you're going to appeal if somebody left early from third and there's a base runner there, and how you, as a base runner, can get the opposition, to be caught in the play because of the nuances of the rules of the game.
Saw Buck Showalter do that. He pulled that trick out of his bag earlier this season.
It's a continuation play, and you keep going, so that's the out, so the runner scores from third. I mean, just crazy stuff that you got to think about that just doesn't happen every day, and you might not see it for years. But it is a smart play, and you're right, Brad. There's going to be people watching this game saying that is something we have not done, worked at, or thought of.
Boys, huddle up.
Yep.
We're doing something. Early work.
And the 1-1. Lined out to deep left. O'Neill going back, and he'll make the catch on the run. Liberatores through 5, and the Cardinals on top 3-0. Goldie at the plate. Watch the runner from first run through the bag at second. He's safe, allowing the run from third to score. And again, by design. Get there as quickly as you can. It's like running from home plate to first base.
Yep, the force play is gone, therefore the run can score. And again, it's the thinking about it beforehand, practicing it, working on it, but then realizing it in the moment that you better pull this one out, you better use it. How often do we see innings like that just end? It's the weak slide into second, pop up, dust yourself off, go back out there, grab your glove. Ollie Marmol, this Cardinal coaching staff, I mean, no leaf is unturned.
Arenado hitless today, 0 for 3. Hooded pullover coming up July 9th. Phillies Bryce Harper, they'll be in town thanks to the Shane Company. Great pullover features a neon bird on the bat. Cardinals.com/promotions. Here's Tyler O'Neill. He has walked, he has struck out. Drew Verhagen has been throwing in the St. Louis bullpen. 5 scoreless put up by Matthew Liberatore. No activity for the Pirates in their pen. Base hit. O'Neill against the shift. Liberatore, by the way, only at 79 pitches. With the heart of their lineup coming up.
Yeah, you wonder if they want him to see that lineup again, flip it over on its head for the 6th inning. Nice job right here by Tyler O'Neill. Sinker down and away. There's really nothing else he's going to be able to do with that pitch, as he's got that heavy sink. Brubaker does. Finds himself a hole. Now you got some wheels on base.
Here's Albert Pujols and a check on O'Neill. Albert a base hit to left and also fly to right. Little chopper left side. It is fair. Hayes to second, and they'll turn 2. Well done, Hayes. The turn by Chang over to Chavis. We played 5. Cardinals on top. Last chance to sign up for the Cardinals 5K virtual run. Participants will receive an exclusive 5K pullover and finisher medallion featuring Bob Gibson. And the proceeds benefit Cardinals Care Redbird Rookies. Girls on the Run St. Louis. Register today. Cardinals.com/5K. Probably not great to protect from rain, but maybe so, but definitely for the sun.
It's doing its job, and I think that everybody has a set of umbrellas, right? You got to be versatile. That one's better for the people behind you too. Smart though, keep the kiddos covered up. I don't do so well in direct sunlight, Dan. Not great.
Well, this is Drew Verhagen, our Chevy call to the pen, and Brett, I got to tell you, this is the most color I've seen on you in a long time. I mean, you've got a little red on you.
Yeah, these freckles are coming together, aren't they?
Yep.
Really something.
You've been out in the sun, haven't you?
Not really.
What do you always say? Pale is the new tan.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. Tell your friends. It's going to catch on. Nighttime is the right time.
Base hit by Reynolds against Verhagen. Brian Hayes. Brian Hayes started a great double play off the bat of Pujols.
Well, you were talking about it earlier. The defensive run saved as he leads National League third baseman. He's good. He got good, quick hands, strong throwing arm.
Well, Matthew Liberatore, 5 scoreless, 54 pitches in the first 3 innings, 25 the last 2, and a total of 79. And the first pitch to Hayes. Good breaking ball. Why do you think out after just 79 pitches?
Well, maybe it ends up being there with Reynolds. Reynolds hits lefties a lot better than he hits righties. You feel like for a young pitcher, the opposition's got a few looks at you already. We want to try to get a different look in Verhagen.
And it's popped up. Yachty with the catch. Put out number 14,865 for Yadier Molina. And with that, he is the all-time leader in putouts in the history of Major League Baseball, just past Pudge Rodriguez. 14,865, the most in the history of Major League Baseball. I know it doesn't get the fanfare of 500 home runs, 600, 3,000 hits, 300 wins, but that is a significant milestone in baseball to be the man that has the most putouts in the game. Talk about longevity. Slowly hit. Arenado there. The turn and the stretch by Albert. And safe is Michael Chavis. Cardinals will take a look at it.
Another nice turn here by these two. Nolan with the strong arm. They'll give it a look, made it close. Going back to Yachty, I don't know about you. I got the goosebumps there, man.
I do too.
He's sitting there, tipping his cap. Just, we've had the opportunity over the years, and I had the good fortune to get to throw to Yachty for some of those putouts. Probably not as many as I'd like.
I bet.
But to see him still doing it, and still doing it at such a high level, and still with championship aspirations. What a moment for him. What a moment for fans that are here in attendance that got an opportunity to see it. And you at home watching on TV. It's one of the best you'll ever see behind the plate.
So 2 outs and a runner at first. A swing and a miss. I would hope we don't take it for granted what we've been able to watch in the long career of Yadier Molina. You may not see another one like him.
Like anything else, you know when you'll notice it.
It's a really good point. I mean, there have been guys that have been the backup catchers for so many years now, since 2004, when he arrived on the scene, and those players have come and gone. No disrespect to him, and he's been the last man standing at a high level.
You know, over the last couple of years, you hear, okay, well, this guy's the future. Well, is he? Because got a guy right there. Carson Kelly's a great example. You know, Carson Kelly, very good big leaguer. Traded him to Arizona, part of that Goldschmidt deal, because this guy was still doing it at such a high level. But you'll notice it when it's gone.
And the 1-2 pitch by Verhagen, taken low. 14th appearance came over the weekend. Number 15 here today at an inning pitch. Gave up 3 hits and earned run. Boy, the stuff is there, but can he put it all together?
Yeah, it really is head scratching sometimes when I watch Verhagen. You see him go dominate an inning, and then you'll see a couple of hard hit balls.
Swing and a miss. Good breaking ball there. Congratulations to Yachty. All-time leader in putouts. St. Louis Cardinals baseball on Bally Sports Midwest. Brought to you by Seidman Cancer Center, national leaders in cancer. And by Budweiser. This Bud's for you. Well, it's hot. Your team is trailing. And for the Pirates, they're trying to avoid their 8th consecutive loss. But those fans taking in the sunshine here at Busch Stadium.
Enjoy it. Enjoy it. You and I talk about this a lot. One of my favorite trips is actually to go to Pittsburgh. I love that ballpark. They've got, it's a passionate sports town, a lot like St. Louis. Just been tough for the last couple of years with the Buccos. Not as much to cheer about. Haven't made the postseason since 2015. They had 3 straight years there where you felt like they were turning the corner.
Out to left field, sinking, and a base hit for Bader. While we have a moment, quick word from Jack in the Box.
My $5.99 double bacon cheesy Jack combo with double the bacon and double the cheese. Order on the Jack app today.
So his put out number 14,865 to set the all-time mark and move ahead of Pudge Rodriguez. He and Pudge the only 2 over 14,000 putouts. Could do something here, maybe a hit and run, straight steal. Yachty trying to take it that way. Jason Kendall at 13,019, 3rd most in the game of baseball. Longtime Pirates catcher.
Another tough dude. I got a chance to play with Jason Kendall in Kansas City in 2010, and you want to talk about a gamer. That was another guy wanted to be in there all the time.
Gets away, but right back to the catcher, but Bader in there safely at second base. Got through delay. That'll be a wild pitch. Came right back to him, but with the speed of Bader, no chance to get him. Yachty, by the way, is 3 hits shy of 1,000 here at Busch Stadium 3. He's the all-time hits leader in this ballpark.
I mean, pretty much anybody other than Bader, Edman, O'Neill, you probably get on that fortunate bounce back.
Two strikes on Yadier Molina. So this is something that you'll see out of Yachty. He's just over these years played the game right too, where he's going to try to either get the base hit but hit it to the right side. That first swing was a great indication. They had the shift on for Yadier Molina. And after watching that swing, you could see the second baseman Chang then go back towards the second base position.
Yeah, my thought would be if I'm Brubaker here in this spot, I know, you get a little bit later in the ball game, you worry about him being able to get something he could drive out of the ballpark, but I would see that swing and want to bust him in.
Yeah. And the 2-2 pitch to Yadier Molina. Bader at second base, dancing out there. Off the catcher's mask. Young man making his major league debut, Jason DeLay. I wonder if guys like DeLay and others are just in awe at the longevity of Yachty at that position.
Oh, sure. You take a shot like that, you know that he's not feeling good. Now, DeLay, a tough guy, making his major league debut. He's not coming out of a ball game. But, I mean, how many of those shots has Yachty taken over the years? I don't want to count them. He's just taken so many shots, whether it's off the mask, the shoulder, the knee, the foot. I mean, the guy's a big walking bruise, yet he battles to be in there all the time. I mean, this year is the only year we've ever seen any sort of a timeshare when it comes to the catching position.
And the 3-2 pitch. Fouled back again.
There's that busting him inside a little bit with the sinker.
So in his career, and this is why I don't quite always understand why teams shift on Yachty, and I understand the numbers will say if he puts it on the ground he's going to pull it left side, but when he goes to the opposite field in his career, he's a .311 hitter. And he strikes out here. Reminder that the Yachty Waino Sox coming your way on a Friday night when the Phillies are here. That night, 25,000 fans ages 16 and older take home a pair of specially designed Cardinals socks highlighting their historic duo. Cardinals.com/promotions. Sosa is grounded into a fielder's choice, reached on an air back in the 4th inning. Takes a pitch a bit high and ball 1. And this is Cabrera getting loose in the St. Louis bullpen. Ollie was saying the other day, we pitched him 4 innings and we're going to give him the entire rest of the trip off, the 3 days in Tampa Bay. But he is the kind of guy that really probably needed a day and would come back still with the effectiveness, the velocity to do that. He said he's just got one of those kind of arms, and something I said, you know, is that a precursor to a guy that could start? He said 100%. He said this is a guy that at some point could be a starter for us.
The only issue with that is then who does what he does out of the pen.
That's right.
Like, that's the hard part to find. So you got a couple of other young left-handed starters. Matthew Liberatore, who ended up giving you 5 scoreless in this ball game. We got a chance to see Zach Thompson make his first major league start yesterday. A few different options there.
Pulled foul by Sosa.
But it's good to have versatile pieces in that bullpen, isn't it? We've seen all of these guys, even your big 3, the back end, Cabrera, Giovanni Gallegos, Ryan Helsley, all get extended past that inning mark.
And the 1-2 as Sosa stays alive. One and two the count on Sosa. Bader, good speed at second base. That'll be a foul ball. So he just got a piece. In the dirt, and it's 2-2. So 2 balls, 2 strikes, 1 out. Bader at second base, and the next grounded left side, deep in the hole, and Sosa beats it out. It's been a tough day for the shortstop Diego Castillo.
Well, I even look closer over at first base, and a ball that we're just so used to seeing picked by Paul Goldschmidt. But you're right, Castillo had the one on Yadier Molina that a little too nonchalant, spiked it in front of him. Next batter against Sosa last time. But a throw that needs to be better and a pick that should be made.
That's ruled an error on Diego Castillo. Derek Shelton out, and that's going to be it for Brubaker. Not a lot of help behind him today with 3 errors made. And the Cardinals have runners at first and second, and the top of the lineup coming up. 3-0 our score. It's Miles Michaelis in game 2, and his last time out, one of the better starts that he has had as a Cardinal. 3 hits in 8 innings in a game that took 1 hour and 54 minutes. We have not had a game like that since all the way back in a makeup game with Chris Carpenter on the mound down in Miami. It was awesome.
You had 2 pitchers, Michaelis and McClanahan, that were just going after and mowing down the opposition. It was a G-Man Choi 2-run home run that was the difference in that ball game, but an incredibly well-pitched game by Miles Michaelis. Look forward to watching him on the nightcap here in the doubleheader.
There's Brendan Donovan. He is 1 for 3, 2 runners on. Beatty is in, the new pitcher in. Chevy called to the pen. And the right-hander's first, taken for a ball. Donovan, a base hit to right back in the 3rd, and scored on the 2-run homer hit by Goldie. 15th appearance for Beatty. He hasn't pitched in 4 days. Went 2 1/3 at Atlanta. Gave up a couple of hits, but no runs. And the 1-0 pitch to Brendan Donovan. Runners dancing out there at first and second. Long look. They're not going. And a fastball and a strike, 1-1.
Good fastball right there by Beatty. Got some late life to it. You see that arm side movement. To the lefties, it's going to be a lot of fastball changeup. I mean, that's going to be the secondary pitch. He can pull the string. Does have a tendency to miss up with that.
And the 1-1. 3 errors in this game committed by the shortstop Diego Castillo, and he came into play having made 2 all season. But that's the speed of the Cardinals, and a couple of times with balls hit by Edmundo Sosa.
Yes, it is. It puts pressure on. We've seen it a lot. Harrison Bader does that a lot to the opposition. We've seen Tyler O'Neill do that, little choppers. We saw Tyler O'Neill do that last series against the Reds. That was a Brandon Drury right down the line, little ground balls, put the pressure on him. First inning, ended up being the difference in that game. An Aquino error and a Drury error.
And the 2-2 pitch to Donovan. 3-2. Nolan Gorman on deck. The announced attendance 31,193. 31,193 tickets sold for the ball game. Fans have been braving the heat. And a 3-2 pitch to Donovan. Beatty has appeared in a couple of games prior to this one against St. Louis. 3 innings, 4 earned. Cardinals have had their way against him. And another 3-2 pitch with 1 down and 2 on. The next to Donovan. Long look, here it comes. Runners go, and it's hit out of play. Why not force the issue?
Exactly. Put pressure on. We've seen it. We're just talking about Diego Castillo at shortstop. Make them make a play.
Eighth pitch of the at bat coming. And a 3-2. The base is loaded. Cardinals have received now 3 walks. And Nolan Gorman a chance to bust this open. Inning started with a base hit by Bader to left. Molina struck out. Sosa reaching on the air by Castillo. Walk to Brendan Donovan. And they are all loaded up for Nolan Gorman. He's walked today 0 for 2. And the first pitch to Nolan. Hit out of play. On deck, Paul Goldschmidt.
We've only seen a couple of the changeups so far from Beatty, but he slows down. He's missing arm side with that. Looks to feel more confident with that fastball, and it's got that sinking life to it. This could leak back over the plate. Something for Gorman to really hit.
The 0-1. That play that the Cardinals did by design with the base running of Gorman, not to slide, not to slow up, but to run right through the bag. Something that they have talked about, they've worked on. That was with Gorman at first base, and obviously it only works with 2 outs and the bases loaded. And in this situation, 1 out, nothing, and 2 the count, the infield in. The next to Nolan Gorman. On its way. Outside. The next by Beatty to Nolan Gorman. Tapped foul off his foot.
Beatty's mixing in that slider a little bit. The changeup has been off the plate. It's been elevated. And it generally is his go-to pitch against lefties. The opposition hitting well under 200 against the pitch. But the slider seems to feel good in his hand right now.
Outfield fairly deep for Nolan Gorman. And the 1-2 pitch on its way. 2-2. The 2-2 pitch with the bases loaded. 3-2 on Nolan Gorman. You have Goldie on deck. Take a deep breath and let her rip.
You just saw 2 pitches in a row right there by Beatty where it looked like he was just trying to make the best pitch of his life with a big breaking ball, then tried to rear back for more on the fastball. Finds himself in a bad spot here.
3-2 pitch with the bases loaded and 1 down. Strikeout of Gorman.
Well, from a bad spot to a great pitch. That was spotted up.
So the same spot that Goldie found himself in back in the fourth. And that was back in the third. And a 2-run homer. StatCast powered by Google Cloud and home run number 14. And Goldie has driven in 50. 2 outs, bases loaded. And the first pitch to Goldschmidt. And a flip to second. The Cardinals cannot cash in. We head to the 7th, and it's 3-0. This copyrighted telecast presented by authority of the Cardinals, not to be reproduced or retransmitted in any form. And the accounts and descriptions of this game may not be disseminated without the express written consent of the St. Louis Cardinals. Bullpen last night in a way overshadowed by the dramatics of Dylan Carlson and Paul Goldschmidt.
Yeah, these guys came in and really settled it down. The Cardinals had to overcome a 5-0 deficit, and one of the reasons they were able to do it is because of this crew right here. Great job by McFarland, Gallegos, Cabrera, and Ryan Helsley as Cabrera's into this ball game.
24th appearance for Cabrera, 3rd time on back-to-back days. Went 2/3 of an inning last night. 10 pitches, no hits. 6 of the 10 were strikes. And it's 0-2.
That's a pitch right there by Genesis Cabrera that has always been a really good pitch for him, but now it feels more consistent. That he can throw it in there for a strike when he wants to, and he can get chased with it when he wants.
I agree with it. That is the right way to put it. Consistency with that pitch.
Yeah, I mean, it's always been nasty, but has it been repeatable? This year, I think it has been more.
And the 1-2 pitch, shift on the right side. Sawinski is 1 for 2. Fouled back.
I think one of the biggest things we've seen with Genesis Cabrera this year also is his ability just to get ahead. Once he gets ahead, then you got guys flailing at that breaking ball, and you got guys elevating and trying to catch up to that fastball upstairs. When he's behind, like everybody else, he has his struggles.
And the 1-2 pitch. 2-2. The next check swing and got him. The strikeout for Cabrera to start the 7th inning. 7 strikeouts in the lineup for the Pittsburgh Pirates today.
Another good look at that curveball. Gets Sawinski to foul tip that thing. Yadier Molina corrals it. Nobody's ever going to catch Yadi, right? When it comes to that put out list.
No.
He's the end of a dying breed.
Well, I just don't know the motivation is there for players to play that long. The money is so good in the game, and that position is so demanding. We talked about it earlier. His body is getting beat up. He's been doing it for so long, nearly 2 decades at the major league level. That's well hit into center, and that ball is gone. It's a home run. Yu Chang. First home run and his 2nd hit today.
Genesis Cabrera went with the changeup, and this one just simply catches way too much of the middle of the plate. Really nice swing by Chang. And hammers this thing. You know what, though? Solo shots don't hurt you. Get right back to work.
The 5th home run allowed this season by Cabrera. So 1 out. And a base hit into right. Tying run comes to the plate. Well, we have a moment. Quick word from St. Louis Children's.
St. Louis Children's Hospital, the only place where Washington University physicians have gathered from across the globe, discovering and developing life-changing treatments for kids.
Major League debut, Jason DeLay has walked and also flied out to deep left. And he represents the tying run. Chang has gotten the Pirates on the board. Softly hit. Can they turn two? Yes, it's a double play. 6-4-3 off the bat of DeLay. Time to stretch in game one. And it's 3-1 St. Louis. It's part of it. It's a lot of fun. Presented by Rawlings and Dick's Sporting Goods. It's only $33. You get a cap, a drawstring bag, a pop-it, a voucher for a couple of games, access to a members-only event, all for just $33. Cardinals.com/Kids Club. Nolan Arenado to lead it off. He's over 3. The 3 groundouts to third. Gateway Honda home run inning. Cardinals hit a home run. The Gateway Honda dealers donate $1,000 to the Make-A-Wish Foundation of Missouri. Arenado, O'Neill, and Albert Pujols. And the first pitch to Nolan Arenado by Beatty is taken for a strike. He came in with 2 on, 1 out in the 6th. Walked the first man, loaded the bases, struck out Gorman on a 3-2 pitch, got Goldschmidt to ground out, and the threat was through. 3-1 our score, and the 0-1 pitch to Nolan. 1-1. Cardinals have out-hit the Pirates 7-6. Another game in which the Cardinals have stranded a lot of runners. 9 today. 9 runners stranded. Arenado, big numbers against Beatty. 4 for 6 with a home run head-to-head.
Few ground balls to third today, but a couple of hot shots yesterday.
Arenado with a high fly ball into right. Over to make the play, Marcano. As Nolan got underneath it, hit a mile high.
Yeah, he just missed that one. I mean, that was the right swing. Just ended up missing it, and that's a spot right there. If you miss to Nolan Arenado and you miss on the inner half, you're very fortunate to get that ball back.
Now Tyler O'Neill, who was struck out, walked, and a base hit to center. First pitch is strike. And the 0-1 ground ball, backing up Key Brian Hayes, and he'll make the play, out number 2. Game 2 tonight is at 6:45 with our first pitch.
This is going to be tough for anybody to cover. 97 sinking action going in. Beatty's got some stuff.
Yeah, not many hitters are going to do much with that pitch. And here is Albert Pujols.
Good idea. I'd do the same thing here.
Trying to, goes inside. Albert had the uncanny ability, we talked about it a lot, but that kind of pitch to pull the hands in and keep the ball fair.
It defied physics.
Yeah,
what he was able to do. I don't know how he got that barrel in a position where he wouldn't hook it foul.
And the 1-0. I've never seen a guy do that as much as he did consistently. Now, sometimes guys may do it and you go, okay, great job of hitting, but he did it every night.
Well, sometimes maybe it ends up being a product of never seeing strikes in the actual strike zone. So if you actually want to go ahead and try to do some damage, you're going to have to expand a little bit, and you got to figure out how to keep it fair.
1-2. Pujols a single to left, fly to right, and grounded into a double play back in the 5th. He's at first base today. Game number 1,340, tying him with Jim Bottomley, most in Cardinals history. The 1-2, and he's hit by the pitch. Trying to go in again, and too much. Second time that Pujols has been on base. I would think you'd have to run for Albert in this spot.
Yeah, absolutely. This one here from Beatty. It's just a changeup that sails up and in, catches Albert right off that upper forearm bicep area.
And as we say that, Pujols out of the game, on base twice today, and Dylan Carlson will pinch run. Carlson, Kisner, Edman, Yepez available today off the bench. Here's Bader. Single to left stranded in the 6th inning. Big shift on the left side of the infield. And the first pitch is strike. And a count of 1 ball and 1 strike. Pirates are trying to avoid their 8th consecutive loss here today. And the 1-1 pitch to Harrison Bader. Here it comes. Out of play.
I think those tough times for ball clubs, they're tough for any team, and even very talented teams with lofty expectations can go through these downturns in the season. It's hard to snap out of the funk. But when you have a team, like the Pirates, who you know what the expectations are for the year, it's to get these young players better and better, and it's to develop and hopefully build towards the future. These are hard to snap out of. That's where the manager's job and the staff's job is very important. It's where it's important to have veteran guys on your team too.
And a fly ball into right field near the line in foul territory, and Mitchell with the catch. We move to the 8th, and the Cardinals with a lead of 3-1.
Studio, Scott Warman with you. And a reminder, coming up after the game, we have Cardinals Live as Ricky Horton will join us. Ricky will dissect the start from Matthew Liberatore and another milestone for Yachty today. It's all coming up on Cardinals Live after the game as we send it back to Dan and Bray.
All right, Scotty, thanks. 3-1. So they're going to extend here Cabrera after he was able to get the double play, did give up a home run. Dylan Carlson stays in the game in right. And Donovan moving to first base. Boy, we just had a treat, didn't we?
Yes, we did.
The great Aggie Sirianni, who has worked here at the ballpark for decades. She has met so many of the countless fans that have come through the turnstiles where folks said, meet me at Aggie's lobby here at the ballpark. So nice to everyone that comes to the ballpark. Well, she had never been to our booth, and now it's not from a lack of not being invited.
I was going to say, did you not invite Aggie?
Oh, no. She's always invited. The sweetest lady here at the ballpark as Marcano flies to left. And so she graced us with her presence, came down and took a picture with us, and it'll be a keepsake for me forever.
Yeah, me too. Aggie, as you know, you mentioned all the fans. Well, it's the players, their families, their kids. I mean, everybody comes running into the ballpark, gives Aggie a hug.
She is the best. And so that'll be it for Cabrera. Helsley had been throwing in the pen with one out here in the top of the 8th, and Ryan Helsley will come on. Back-to-back days for the right-hander coming up. Helsley both going back-to-back. Cardinals leading 3-1, game 1 of the doubleheader. Part of this in our Chevy call to the pen, I'm sure, is the fact that he says, if you're Ollie, I've got my guy going in game 2 that can get deep into a game, so I'm going to put my best foot forward to try to win this one right now.
Yeah, you've got your safe situation. You've got some of your best guys available, and I think you would still have, you know, we saw Giovanni Gallegos in the ball game yesterday, but you'd have him available for the second game of this doubleheader. I like the way that Ollie has been using his bullpen. I like the versatility of guys that maybe it's an inning here, could be an inning in 2/3, could be back-to-back days. And we've talked about it quite a bit, but one of the biggest keys to being able to use a bullpen like this is talking to your bullpen and communicating to them and finding out day in and day out what they have in them. Because there's going to be days where Ryan Helsley might come to you and say, hey, I've got one inning, but probably not more than that. You have to know all these things before you get into a ball game.
And the batter will be Brian Reynolds. The switch hitter. And he takes a pitch down into the dirt for ball 1. So the switch hitter, and from this side of the plate, just the 4 extra base hits, but the average at 313. Other side of the plate, a lot more plate appearances, average at 221. Third baseman Arenado off the line. Popped up and out of play. 1 ball and 1 strike. Second time, that's it this year, back-to-back for Helsley. 12 pitches yesterday in his inning of work. In his last 5 games, 6 2/3 and just 2 hits allowed.
He's been so good. He's so difficult to square up and always has had good stuff, but now has the ability to throw those breaking pitches, the tough, tight cutter, and the bigger slider for strikes.
So right-handed batters have just 2 hits against him. The lefties 4 all year. 6 total hits allowed. Lefties 4 for 36. Fastball outside, 3-1. Has to come back and get him. And the 3-1 pitch tied him up. It's the amazing thing too, when guys throw this hard, usually, not always, but there's a lack of control, and you've not seen that out of Ryan Helsley. Well, Helsley has walked just 6 on the year.
Yeah, you know what else you're seeing out of Ryan is if he misses on a pitch, well, the next one he makes the adjustment. Everybody, you know, you're going to have one that pops out wrong, but if you have a whole inning where that happens, that's when you get in trouble. He's doing a way better job of figuring out what's wrong, whether he's pulling off or timing's off.
With the 3-2 slider, and the tying run will come to the plate. While we have a moment, quick word from Great Southern Bank.
Choices are never a bad thing, especially when they all look so good. Go ahead, take your time, and find the account that's perfect for you at GreatSouthernBank.com.
Brian Hayes with 1 out and a runner at first. Cardinals have turned a pair of double plays here today. And it's popped up right side, Donovan over and into the crowd. 58th ground ball double play they've turned. They've had 63 total this year. Second most in baseball. Brian Hayes has struck out, popped out to short, popped out to the catcher, Yadier Molina, which gave Yadi put out number 14,865, the most in the history of baseball by a catcher.
Dan, when did you know when you were watching Yadi that he was just different?
Man, that's a good question. I mean, we had heard a lot about his defense. Dave Ricketts had talked about it a ton. I'd say defensively, you knew when he arrived on the scene.
Yes.
Because he had a cannon for an arm. He got better at blocking balls. Mike Matheny's maybe the best I've ever seen at that, blocking balls in the dirt, and Yadi is just gotten better and better. Not that he was bad, but is taking it to the elite level. I'd say when he was called up, and this is not good, as Chris Conroy is out, the Cardinals medical team to check on Helsley, and Mike Maddox, Ollie, what about for you? You got to throw to the man.
Yeah, well, for me, it was the first time, and it is defensively. The first time I threw a sinker, and out of my hand, I went, no, because I knew it was way down under the zone, and he catches it and made it a strike. I go, what was that? What kind of sorcery is this that you're doing? I mean, just his ability, and this was still, early in his career. I'm talking about 05. So, a year into him being the guy.
Yeah.
Where he was just different around the plate than anybody that I had thrown to.
Well, Helsley is going to stay in the game. And remember last year, his season was cut short. And he had to have the cleanup knee surgery. I didn't see anything, though, out of the ordinary.
Yeah, I didn't either. And obviously he checked all the boxes.
And obviously the Cardinals are going to be very cautious with him, and that's fouled back.
Maybe that just tells you how good Ryan Helsley has been. He walked a guy and then threw one that missed and said, boys, we got to go check on him.
Oh, yeah.
Better go see if he's all right.
That's right.
Nobody's ever on base.
And a count of 2-2. Runner at first is Brian Reynolds. And the next to Hayes, representing the tying run. Fastball, and it's low. See if they want to start the runner. Brian Reynolds here. The issue with that, you're down by 2. And Helsley is a strikeout guy, and you got Yadi behind the plate. You could run yourself into a double play. And the 3-2 pitch. Not running. Swung on and missed. And there's your strikeout. Nobody throwing in the Cardinal bullpen, as Ollie would love to get the final 5 outs here from Helsley.
Yeah, Ryan Helsley looked just fine on that one. 97. Good downward tilt.
Daniel Vogelback will be the pinch hitter for Michael Chavis. So 12 pitches so far, only 5 strikes from Ryan Helsley, and even there with Hayes, he chased a ball.
Well, Vogelback can be a guy. He's not afraid to swing early and try to do some big damage on a fastball early in a count. You locate one down the way, you can get your ground ball, get out of here with one more pitch.
And the first pitch taken for a ball. Seven home runs. He's driven in 15 at a home run against the Braves over the weekend. And the 1-0 pitch with a shift on the right side. 1 ball and 1 strike.
It's an awkward swing right there by Vogelback. Ties him up. Good hard slider in.
And the 1-1 pitch by Helsley. The count of 2-1. How did your body respond, your arm? Obviously, it's different with a guy throwing this hard back to back, but generally speaking for relievers.
Yeah, everybody is different, and that is the thing. Personally, I always felt good the more work that I got, but everybody has their routine, and everybody has that comfort level.
The Cardinals so cautious with Helsley, and you can understand why. He can be dominant, but they've been very careful with him here early on.
Yeah, they have, and Ollie's talked about it. There have been games here recently where, yeah, this guy right here would have probably given you the best opportunity in a game, but you need to have him standing on the mound in September and ultimately October in the biggest games. It's a long process.
And the 2-2 fouled back. There was 100 triple digits. Been pretty deliberate, though. Have you noticed that? A little slower working here today.
He has been. It's a hot day and on a back-to-back, so kind of twofold. He's going to have to rear back and give you a little bit more.
There's your buddy.
He does get warm on these days.
The 2-2 is in the dirt. Runner off with the next pitch. Now he's been going with that slider there.
Well, it's a really good pitch against Vogelback, especially down in off the plate. You'll get him to swing over it, but it's got to look like a strike first.
Ten balls, 8 strikes for Ryan Helsley. Pulled foul. And the next by Ryan Helsley to Vogelback. Got him. Couldn't hold up, and the strikeout of Vogelback. Having words with a third base umpire, and it's 3-1. Game back in the fourth. Goldie at the plate. Bases loaded. Nolan Gorman running through the bag. The fastest way to get there at second, allowing Molina to score. And that run would count with 2 outs. Eventually a rundown. But the Cardinals at that point had a 3-0 lead. What a play.
It really was. It really was. And a big run in a ball game that ends up being pretty tight here late as the Cardinals cling into a 3-1 lead, trying to add to it here in the bottom of the 8th. But it's just next level baseball. I think that you have had a lot of people watching that, and I mean, you were all over it as soon as it happened. They say, whoa, whoa, what is he doing? Doing the smart move.
Yeah. By design. Vogelback staying in the game. Beatty pitching well, coming out of the bullpen in relief of Brubaker. So Ryan Helsley threw 20 pitches, and Giovanni Gallegos grabs a baseball and starts to throw in the St. Louis bullpen.
Yeah, and I wonder if this was by design or if it was by talking to Helsley after that inning or eyeball test. I mean, he didn't seem to have his same crisp stuff there in that inning.
And the 0-2 put in play by Molina to his left, the shortstop, and again the low throw by Castillo guiding it there. Had that type of play earlier in the game. He's had 3 throwing errors, and one of those was on Yadier Molina. Here's Edmundo Sosa with one out and nobody on. And it might be a situation where if Helsley got the first 2 outs and did it in, let's say, 4 or 5 pitches, he's still in the game. But 20 pitches in the inning.
Yeah, for sure. And it makes Miles Michaelis in game 2, his ability, as he showed last game, he's got no problem getting deep into a ball game, but it makes it even more important in this one.
And the 0-1 pitch to Sosa. Off of Vogelback. Beatty to the bag and safe. It's one of the things you do see with the teams the Cardinals have been playing on this homestand. And again, it's no disrespect to the Pirates, to the Reds. It's rebuild mode, but the Cardinals have played very crisp defense, base running, little things that have helped them win the games.
Well, when everything comes together, the Cardinals have a team that really could be, one of the best around. They already are. You're looking at the numbers. They're one of the best teams in the league. When the offense and the pitching, everything collides, but those details, like those are the things that pop up in October. It's the play that's made, or it's the run that's taken, the base running play, or the stolen base that you get a good jump because you have a read on a pitcher. Like all these little things that they spend all this time on. That's the difference.
Inside to Donovan. So Sosa has reached 3 times via the air. Vogelback called on the air there in his backhanded attempt, and 4 errors today by the Pirates here in game 1. And the 1-0 pitch to Brendan Donovan. Gets away. Puts Sosa in scoring position. Again, the little things. But then it's up to the Cardinals to make them pay. They've stranded 10 in this game.
Well, this would be a really nice time, needless to say, to get something going and get a few runs, right? Giovanni Gallegos is out there throwing in the bullpen. You'd love to be able to pull him back, bring somebody else into the game.
Potentially you save him for game 2, and it's a valid point. 3-1 our score. Outside. 3-0 the count. Donovan been on base twice in the leadoff spot today for the Cardinals. Singled to right and scored in the 3rd. And he was the first man that Beatty saw in relief of Brubaker. Walked in the 6th. And the 3-0 delivery. And the next to Donovan. Check swing. And he went 3-2.
The first guy I looked at after that was Daniel Vogelback. He's over there shaking his head. He said, "You're darn right you did." Vogelback was very upset at third base umpire Scott Berry about his. And I mean, that was very close there. I don't know if he went.
3-2 pitch. Rolled over by Donovan, and he throws his bat towards the Cardinal dugout in frustration. He thinks he should be on base.
I think I agree.
And Nolan Gorman coming up. 2 strikeouts, fly to center, and walked. Big run out there at third base. Get that insurance. A shift on the right side of the infield as we play here in the home half of the 8th. A hot day in St. Louis. Pulled the string there. Had him out front, and strike 1.
I think that's the best changeup we've seen from Tyler Beatty in this ball game.
4 errors today by Pittsburgh, season high. 5 in a game, the most by any team this season. Texas did that. Off the plate, 1 ball and 1 strike. And they 1-1. 1-2.
That's a pretty tough combination right there for Nolan Gorman to handle. The good changeup started him out early. Another changeup missed, and then 97 right there on the corner by Beatty.
And they 1-2. Got him. Changeup again, and that sends us to the ninth. 3-1 Cardinals. 3-1 our score. The Cardinals leading game one of the doubleheader. Again, 6:45. First pitch tonight will be on the air at 6:30 with game two of the doubleheader as Giovanni Gallegos is in, and our Chevy called to the pen. 8 saves and 11 opportunities. He pitched last night, 11 pitches, so he goes back-to-back, and the big three going back-to-back here in game one.
Hey, if you're in these tight games, these guys are available, you end up using them. And again, Ollie Marmol has versatile pieces in his bullpen. Him and his coaching staff come together, figure out what's the best way to make it work in a given game, and it is Gallegos' game now to lock down.
And a chance to make Matthew Liberatore a winner here today as he started and gave the Cardinals 5 scoreless innings. A young fan brought his glove. Outfielders were warming up. Yeah, I get it, man. Frustrating. And the outfielders threw it into the seats, and he didn't get it.
Yeah, different kid got it. You keep your head up, buddy. One's coming. That's a good brother right there, I'm guessing. So you got this, man. We'll go find one.
And the first pitch by Gallegos taken high. This is the pinch hitter, Hoy Park. 25th appearance for Gallegos, and the 4th time he's gone back-to-back this season. Last 3 games, 3 innings, no hits for Giovanni. If there was ever a time to be a little bit quicker between pitches, it's a day like today. Guys want to get off their feet.
Yeah, they do, but then as a pitcher, too, you're already hot, and you're trying to take your time a little bit. Be nice, just pound strikes, get quick outs, make these guys put the ball in play.
So between innings, what does a major league ball club do in a doubleheader?
Oh, well, a lot of hydration in this one, and with the split doubleheaders, I mean, you're gonna have guys getting their, you know, their normal preparation for a game. I mean, this would be about the time that most of the guys are already at the field anyhow, but little rest and recovery. Play some cards.
So between innings, you're getting hydrated. Then between games, you're maybe taking a nap. I mean,
no, some guys will. You'll find a little corner. Maybe.
Well, there's beds that the Cardinals have.
That's
Teams have
nice.
done that.
Teams have things have gotten better. They got beds now.
Place to lay down, get a little rest,
decompress. That's part of it now. All the sleep studies that have gone on. We've seen changes in spring training times over the years of pushing the time back instead of, all right, everybody be here at 6. Like, no, your rest is important. Your recovery is important.
3-2 the count. I thought Yachty would go in game 2 and not game 1.
I did too.
Hot day here at Busch Stadium. And the 3-2 swung on and missed and a strikeout. My guess would be that the way that Kisner worked with Michaelis in his last start, you keep those two together.
If it ain't broke, don't fix it.
Yeah,
that's what you're going with. No, I don't mind that either. And maybe that conversation was there with Yachty. Which side of this do you want? Either way, I think that Yachty did a really nice job with Matthew Liberatore in this ball game. Bullpen's coming in doing their job. Good fastball right there by Gio.
Here's Sawinski. Shift on the right side. 1 out and nobody on. And the first pitch by Gallegos. Taken for a ball. Lefties are hitting .250 against Giovanni, and the righties 184. And the 1-0 pitch. Popped up. Left center, shading from the sun. It'll be O'Neill with the catch. Cardinals looking to win 7 of the first 8 games against Pittsburgh for the first time since 2005. And that year they went 20-4 against the Pirates. 2 outs and nobody on. And the Pirates down to their final out here in the 9th inning with 2 outs and a 3-1 score. It's a major league debut.
Kanan Smith and Jigba. Talented outfielder.
Once again, I applaud John Hewlett for recognizing a major league debut. So 2 in this game for the Pirates. Kanan Smith in Jigba. And the first pitch, a strike. John, the PA announcer here at the ballpark, always acknowledging that major league debut, and the home crowd of the Cardinals acknowledging that as well. And the 0-1 pitch by Gallegos. 0-2. Pirates down to their final strike. These fans have weathered the heat. They deserve a ton of credit. Making some noise now as the Pirates are down to their final strike. Two outs, nobody on, and the 0-2 pitch by Gallegos. Post-game show coming up. Look at all the highlights, some of the milestones from this game today from Albert Pujols and Yadier Molina. A count of 1-2. Gallegos can't quite hear it from PitchCom as Yadi dials it up on his knee to deliver the signal to Gallegos. The 1-2 pitch and a fly ball into left center in his major league debut. A double. Kanan Smith in Jigba. The tying run will come to the plate. So a double down to the final strike. And the tying run to the plate for Pittsburgh.
A really cool moment here for Smith and Jigba. Gets a fastball 94 miles an hour, stays on it, drives it in the gap. Very memorable first at bat, first hit in a tight ball game against the Cardinals. And his team is pumped up.
So 2 outs, runner at second. Cal Mitchell, 2 home runs this year, and he's 1 for 3 today with a base hit to right. First pitch, taken high. Boy, you'd love to be able to steal this game with Matthew Liberatore for the 5 innings of scoreless baseball. We've seen Verhagen and then the big 3 for St. Louis. Pitching back to back, Cabrera, Helsley, and now Gallegos. Tapped foul, 1 ball, 1 strike.
Yeah, this is a ball game that the offense from the Cardinals has come from. I mean, it's been 2 events. It's been the Goldie 2-run home run, and then the heads-up base running by the Cardinals. Nolan Gorman ends up stealing a run there to make it 3-0 at the time. Now 3-1.
Cardinals since 2019 here at Busch, 15-13 against the Pirates, but they've won 23 of 27 at PNC. And the 1-1 pitch by Giovanni Gallegos. Well, you'd have to think that the big 3 are off limits in game 2, so others are going to have to step up, or Miles Michaelis goes deep.
Yeah, well, and when we're talking about others stepping up, well, the first place my mind goes is the offense. Like, score a bunch of runs.
Yeah.
Give a little bit of leeway to the pitching staff there. Not that Miles Michaelis is going to need it, because, boy, has he been good. It's been so fun to watch Miles this year, just being on the top of his game. I know he had a couple of outings that he'd like to have back, but for the most part, boy, I mean, he's healthy again. He looks free. He looks easy.
And Yachty giving Gallegos on this hot day maybe a little breather here. Runner at second, tying run at the plate with 2 outs here in the top of the ninth. 3-1 St. Louis. And the 2-1 pitch by Giovanni Gallegos. Fly ball into right. This should do it. The catch is made, and the Cardinals take game 1 of the doubleheader in a final of 3-1.
Well, this was a well-pitched ball game. Dan, Matthew Liberatore, and how about the day for Yadier Molina? Congrats to Yadi, the all-time put-out leader at catcher. Goldie with the big 2-run home run. Nice game 1.
The 2-run homer, the 14th of the season for Goldie, and the Cardinals win it. Game 2 coming up at 6:45. We'll be on the air at 6, but we have a post-game show coming up. Nowhere to go. Let's talk some more baseball. 3-1 the final.